it's me, Jade, and welcome to another Japanese lesson. Today we're going to be looking at all of the suffixes at the end of Japanese names and figure out what they all mean. First things first, I just want to highlight that the word Anata, which means you, is not used in Japanese. Anata is used as a kind of term of endearment between, well, normally the older generation nowadays. So the wife will say Anata to her husband and it's translated as something like dear, darling, sweetheart, something like that, yeah? Using the word Anata, as in you, to refer to the person that you're talking to is kind of disrespectful because in Japan they expect everybody to learn each other's names. So this leaves you in a bit of a pickle if you're not great at memorizing names, but believe me, after living in Japan for a while, you'll become really good at it. So the first suffix that people use is san. San. So people who are talking to me in the workplace or for the first time or when the relationship isn't very close yet, they will call me Jade-san. Jade-san. So usually you would actually use the person's surname, and Japanese people tend to give their surnames first rather than their first given names. Their name might actually be Masato, for example, Masato Takahashi. But in Japanese, they would give it as Takahashi Masato, and they would say their surname first. I cannot remember where I was going with this. If I were referring to Masato, I would call him Takahashi-san. If you did get closer, you could call them Masato-san. And if you got even closer, you would remove the suffix to the name altogether because it's there as a sign of respect and politeness. I like to think of it in terms of adding Mr. or Mrs. So Mr. Takahashi. As for children, the suffix changes from san to chan. So to a little girl or boy nowadays, you would say Masato-chan or Yukiko-chan. There is also the suffix kun, which is used only with little boys. But honestly, with the younger generations today, from what I've experienced working with children for a long time, the kun seems to be disappearing and being replaced with chan for both boys and girls. But you do hear kun from time to time still, and this could just be a central Tokyo thing. I can't speak for the rest of Japan. In the rural areas, perhaps they still do have a strict differentiation between chan and kun for girls and boys. And chan is becoming more and more common among adults as well. So if you do have a close relationship with someone, or if you're dating someone, you might add chan to the end of their name to show that cutesy, close, friendly attachment to them. So if you go in the ranks from surname san to first name san to first name chan, or first name with nothing at the end, then congratulations, you've become friends with someone. Let's put this into practice. So if you wanted to say, Miss Hart, are you Swedish? You would say, Hato-san wa Sweden-jin desu ka? Yeah, you wouldn't say, Hato-san, anata wa Sweden-jin desu ka? And in English, we would probably just drop the name completely. We would just go, hey, are you Swedish? Anata wa Sweden-jin desu ka? But that is like really rude. You have to say their name, otherwise it comes across as disrespectful and kind of like, oh, you didn't bother to learn my name? So, yeah. Oh, I forgot to add. There are other suffixes you can use depending on the role of the person that you're talking to. For example, if you're talking to your teacher or a lawyer or a doctor, you would add sensei at the end of their name. So instead of Takahashi-san, it would be Takahashi-sensei. Okay, so in my classes, when I've been teaching English in the past, people would say Jade-sensei, and they just address you with your title at the end of your name. This goes with roles in the company as well. So if you are the CEO, if you are the top of the company, people are going to call you Kaicho, and they might use your name, Jade Kaicho, or they might just call you Kaicho and leave it at that. Below Kaicho, we have Bucho. Bucho is like department head. So if there are many department heads, then you would probably use their name, Takahashi Bucho or Sato Bucho, to differentiate between who you're talking about. But if there's only one, again, Bucho, yeah? On one final point, you never ever refer to yourself as san, chan, or anything else like that. I mean, actually, in saying that, there are some comedic characters in Japan who do refer to themselves as chan, but it's not normal. And basically, don't try it yourself unless you're very familiar with the language and all the cultural meanings behind everything. As for calling yourself san or kaicho, bucho, or anything with a title, just don't do that. It comes across as arrogant and above everyone else. So refer to yourself as your name alone and add des at the end. Jade desu, Takahashi desu. So yeah, those are my quick tips on how to use the suffixes and speak with panache in Japanese. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them down there for me. If you learned something, please give me a thumbs up. And of course, subscribe for more lessons. Bye guys! Mwah!